So hello again everyone, and good morning. And I thought I would start off with the view, and it's cool this morning, but it is going to get much warmer today. And as you can probably see, back in well, you can see the country, but I am back in the south of France. So this is the office today. And I thought I would just quickly show you, and yes, I will move on to the video. So hello again everyone, and good morning, and I thought I would show you where I am again, and with the cup of coffee, and if I do a quick spin around here, it should give you a feel for where I am, which is the south of France. But so I haven't produced much content in the last few weeks because I've just been busy with other things, and but I'm now in the south of France, and I'm hoping to produce some more interesting content. I actually want to put a lot more time and effort into this, and it's just arranging my work around this, and that's the direction I'm going in. But again today, yeah, I seem to be I'm having a lot of conversations with people about the Ukraine war, and I know straight away you mention Ukraine and everyone's sighs because it's a real terrible situation, and it's difficult to understand why these things happen, but the reason people are talking about it is because it is important, and it is very serious, and it will impact all of us, and it is doing. A lot of people are being killed, and there are lots of human atrocities, and in this modern world that we live in, people are constantly asking the question, why is this happening? Why has Putin decided to do this? Now, history will provide you with some details and facts, the reasons why a war is taking place today. But if we just zoom forward to very recent times, in fact, if we just zoom to this year, an invasion has taken place at the request of a dictator, and I think it's difficult to argue that Putin is not a dictator. I think it's very clear that the guy is a dictator. And in a previous video, I touched on Ukraine, and I am reluctant to really talk about it because it's a little bit arrogant to think that that what's going on fully, and that your view can be comprehensive and be a valid, good view. But because I'm talking about it so many times, I feel it warrants, me chatting about it on camera again. And once again, I'm trying to make points and comments that are realistic and a good, sensible point of view, and hopefully constructive. So I need a little bit of creative license, to speak my mind, and hopefully I will convey a view that that is okay. And it's hard to do because I always try to be unbiased, and I try to present detail as best to my knowledge is accurate. So Ukraine's a real tough one to really talk about, but I'll give it a go. So I suppose one way I can tackle this is by asserting the question to myself, hey Stephen, what do you think is going to happen with respect to the Ukraine war? What does it mean for world economics, world politics? So straight off the bat, I think what I will do is offer my gut reaction. My gut reaction is this: I think Putin has made a mistake, a big mistake. I believe that he thought that he was going to walk into Ukraine and, to a varying degree, he will have taken regions of Ukraine or even all of Ukraine. And I think he really expected to do it within a few weeks, if not a week. What has happened is that he has miscalculated the response, and he's miscalculated the military capability of Ukraine, and also miscalculated the sentiment held by the Ukrainian people. So what's happened is he's committed military action. Well, he committed an invasion. That military action has really failed. So they've had to, Putin has had to look at it and then make a new decision and take another course of action. And that seems to have failed also. And again, he has miscalculated the military response by Ukraine. What Ukraine has been able to do is defend themselves, and not only that, they've been able to stop the military strategy that Putin had adopted. From Putin's point of view, well, from me being a third party viewing the situation, I imagine Putin is incredibly frustrated and angry, and probably, dealing with a lot of pride issues, really struggling to keep his head high, because the truth of it and the consequences, they can only get back to Russia in one way or another. Even though he does have the Russian media controlled, the truth is going to squeeze out into the Russian environment, and people are going to see a failed military attack, and it will raise questions, and questions like this really shake the credibility that their leader has right now, and so I think that's one thing that he'll be dealing with. This time, it looks to me like Putin didn't expect the economic sanctions to be what they have been. This time, these economic sanctions, they have been brutal. They've targeted people, Russian people, that are in charge of running Russia's infrastructure. And these economic sanctions will be a problem. That they are going to have caused big problems for these individuals on a personal level, but also on a business level. Now, one of the strong things that Russia does have is it does have its natural resources in gas and oil, and that's the thing that creates all the wealth anyway. But the world, I think, has understood this and has put processes and procedures in place to actually source that raw material from other parts of the world, and it's obvious that's what's happening today. So this resource that Russia has, yes, it's the thing that will enable Russia to get back on its feet after this, but it's something that the rest of the world can live without. And so that is another negative for Putin to deal with. But I think the real problem that Putin really faces is this military capability that has been demonstrated by Ukraine. Ukraine have a weapons systems that are able to handle, the types of weapons and strategies used by Russia, and Russia just isn't going to win now. Also, the timing of this invasion being the beginning of the year, and the narrative and propaganda around it leads me to believe that Putin probably thought this would all be done by mid-May. And Russia have a Second World War celebration day. It's around mid-May or maybe early May. I think it's May the 9th, actually, as I'm talking. I think that's when it is. And something tells me that he was probably hoping to, present this invasion as a great thing for Russia, around this time. And what Putin's having to face here is that is not going to happen. He's not going to be able to offer any success here. Right now, I don't know what he will do, but there is no success that he can take home. The actual human loss, the Russian human loss, is enormous. The military hardware loss is enormous. And this is crippling stuff for someone like Putin. This is going to be a horrible situation. Now, the other thing that made me think he is struggling, well, the other is in the last week, apparently, he's disciplined a large number of FSB staff. So that's Russia's security service. Now, it seems it's someone like me that is madness to attack your own people, especially when the chips are down. So that's a very significant indicator that perhaps he's losing control at the very, very top, because that is a terrible, desperate move. In fact, that is a move that can only bring failure around it. So that isn't good. So yes, to answer very quickly, what do I think about the Ukraine war? I think Putin has made a big mistake, and I think he's going to regret it. And I also put on the table that he might even be ousted. Putin's term as president of Russia, I think that might come to an end. There's a real possibility that will happen. And all dictators, history will tell you that they all collapse from within. And it's a culmination of long lengths of time and streamlining communication channels and surrounding yourself with yes people. And that can only bring failure. And so this is why I think that Putin's term as president of Russia, might really be towards the end. So that's in a nutshell. I think that's all I can say and all I want to say about this. In this video, I'm not trying to be biased, believe it or not, although the content is definitely biased one way, but I'm really not trying to be biased. I just don't know what else to say that I believe to be highly accurate. So all I can really offer is my opinion and claim that is as accurate as I can be, because it's my opinion. Anyway, I hope that's at least a little interesting, and maybe I will chat about this again if people want to hear more. I'll try to make it more interesting, and yes, so I'll say ciao for now, and again, I hope everyone is well, and speak again soon.